Tonight, I would like to introduce very important advice given by the Buddha. Very simple. You have heard, but you do not know the real validity of the whole world. The followers of every religion appreciate this sayings of the Buddha. So simple, but very practical. This is the saying. Nahi verena verani sammansidha udachana. Averena cha sammanti esa dhammo sanantana. I think you have heard this. Meaning, hatred never ends by hatred, but by loving kindness. The Buddha again says, Esa dhammo sanantano. This dharma or this truth is eternal, never change. No one can change. Nobody in this world could manage to gain anything by developing hatred towards another person. But by creating loving kindness, sympathy, understanding in their mind, then they will be able to overcome their problem. Take for instance, you come to know somebody is angry with you. Then you also show your angry face to that person. Then every time when they meet, they show their sour face to each other. Then they talk something to others against that person, both sides. Then go on developing and developing and developing this hatred or anger. Then the family members from this side and the other side also join with them. Now two groups develop anger, hatred. One day there will be violence or bloodshed. That is why the Buddha says, Esa dhammo sanantana. This is an eternal dharma. No one can go against this teaching. This is an eternal truth. Let us study. Whether anybody could manage to win by going against the teachings of the Buddha, of this advice. Let us start the long history. Alexander the Great, I think 3rd century, he wanted to occupy many other countries, and part of India also occupied by them. By developing hatred, anger, jealousy, ill will, craving, attacking other countries, he could manage to win and gain many countries. Then what happened? He died on the way. That's all. That is what he gave. Did he enjoy his life? Did he gain anything by occupying, by attacking other countries? He died on the road. That is the end of it. The most important person is Hitler in Germany. I think 1938. I can remember I was about 14 years old. On his birthday, many countries have sent birthday gifts. Japan, being a Buddhist country, sent a Buddha image with this saying, hatred never ends by hatred but by loving kindness. After reading this, Hitler said, I never agree with this. If I come to know somebody hates me, I wall up that person instead of developing loving kindness towards him. So he wanted to go against the teachings of the Buddha. Then he joined with Mussolini in Italy. Both of them declared war. Second World War started in 1938-39, and we can remember we suffered a lot in Sri Lanka because no rice, no chili, no sugar. Only once a week we get rice and no chili, cooked rice, no sugar. Little bit of sugar we put in our hand and lick and take a cup of tea. For few years, how we suffer. Because the ships cannot bring anything. So they declare war, attacking, killing, destroying many countries. They have destroyed 40 million human beings. 40 million human beings have lost their life because of them. Can you imagine? Finally, they were defeated. Then, in Italy, people killed Mussolini and hanging his body upside down, carrying all the ground. Because of this man, we lost millions of our people. Hitler came to know this. He knew same thing will happen to him also. Then what he did? He asked somebody to kill him and burn. No one can recognize Hitler. That is what he got in the end. By going against the teachings of the Buddha, what he got in the end? Destroying 14 million human beings. This is more than enough for us to understand. Again, let us take Pol Pot in Cambodia. He has killed nearly 2 million innocent people. Children, women, farmers, and the monks. I visited that place where he killed. There's a very long iron chain. Then they tie their legs and bang here, one by one, and kill. And their clothing that they were wearing were are still there. And their skulls, you can see like a hill. They have collected the skulls after burying the body. And still we can see pieces of bones and the teeth here and there, all over the area, where they have killed all those innocents. Every educated man in that country tortured and killed. There's a school building with nearly 20 to 30 rooms. In every room there is a bed and iron chain. Every teacher, lecturer, professor, engineer and doctor, any educated man in that country, they caught all of them and dragged and tied with that iron chain, and how they tortured them, you can see there on the wall today. That is a museum today, that school building. How they tortured and killed. Take for instance, they boil one big pot and put the hand there. Burn. Without killing, by torturing. They were Buddhists. It is a Buddhist country. Here you can see, people use religion as a label, but never take the teachings into their minds and to follow the advice given by the Buddha. Otherwise, how can they create this kind of cruel, wicked, dangerous, harmful thing to innocent people? So in the end, he died in the jungle in a hut as a beggar. So what did he gain? By destroying nearly 2 million, what did he gain? Idi Amin, Ethiopia, Africa. He killed nearly 1 million and chased away all the other Indians and many foreigners who were in that country, chased away all of them. Then divided into 2 groups because of their religion. And he destroyed. How did he kill them? He dragged people and bury up to here and used bulldoze. That is how he destroyed nearly 1 million human beings. Because certain religions, when they are divided into 2 groups, they become enemies. They attack and kill others. It is happening even today. Catholics and Protestants started this long ago. Attacking, killing, destroying the others. Are still going on in Europe. Cannot stop. What is happening in Iraq? Those who were divided into Shia and Sunni Muslims regard them as enemies, and their mosques also burn and blast and bomb, destroy. Followers of the same religion. is going on. Buddhists, they were divided into different groups for nearly 2,000 years ago. Spread many parts of the world. Can you point out that they have dropped a single drop of blood among the Buddhists who were divided into different schools and groups? That is the uniqueness of Buddhism. This tolerance, this understanding, you cannot find in others. Only in Buddhism. When they were destroyed, those two Buddha images in Afghanistan, it was a very strong Buddhist country. During Emperor Asoka's time, trained Buddhist missionaries and sent to many parts of the world from that country. The name that they used at that time, Gandhara, same word they pronounce as Kantahar. Chinese travelers who have gone through Silk Road, they have seen, they have returned. What they have seen as a Buddhist country, but they completely destroyed everything. Remained only two huge Buddha images on the top. Then they said they are going to destroy. 5 Muslim countries also advised them not to do that. Not because of religious value, historical, cultural value. You can find what they have done few thousand years ago, but they cannot tolerate it. They blasted, completely destroyed those two Buddha images, 1,800 years old. Malaysia, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Iran. These 5 countries also appealed them not to do that. But Taliban, they did not listen. They have different types of human mind. Girls cannot go to school. Ladies cannot go out to work. Children cannot use toys. That is their way of life. And today they announce, we have human rights, women can come out and go to school, and freedom is there. Because the democratic government. In Iraq also now, every day they are killing and killing and killing, but try to introduce the democratic government. Yesterday I heard they announced their new council. We are trying to introduce, to give human rights and give freedom to women. I heard on these two. Slowly they are trying to give more freedom. Now you can understand. 2,600 years old Buddhism. To introduce Buddhism, to protect Buddhism, a single drop of blood never shed in any country, in any part of the world. All the others started with blood. From the very beginning, bloodshed. It still continues. Use the religion only for the namesake. They say they are religious because they pray. The more they pray, they think more they become religious. But cruelty, anger, jealousy, grudge and ill will and wickedness, all are in their mind. Then where is religion? Worshipping, praying are not the important thing to practice a religion, to train the mind. That is the main purpose of religion. You can do so many things. You can spend millions of dollars in the name of religion. If you are not trying to train your mind by reducing your anger, jealousy, grudge and ill will, wickedness from your mind, there's no religion. Only namesake. So, these sayings of the Buddha, now you can understand why the Buddha says, Esa Dhammo Sanatana. India and Pakistan, 57 years, killed each other. Now they realize that should not be the way for them to live and maintain and carry on their activities by killing it again. They get together and discuss and compromise, then agree, slowly to stop killing. Israel and Palestine, how many years they have been killing each other. Finally, they agree to meet and discuss and stop this killing. Sri Lanka, Tamil and Sinhalese, two races. Sinhalese are like Malays in Malaya, the people who are staying in that country. And Indians have come from the South India and occupied. Now racial and political, but nothing to do with religion. Killing for 14 years. They decided not to kill and stop and discuss and compromise. They are discussing now. Here you can see what the Buddha has said. You will never win the battle by developing your anger, hatred towards others. If you are wise, when you come to know somebody is angry with you, you must have gentle attitude. Don't show your sour face to your enemy. Show your smiling face. Then one day, both get the chance to talk to each other. After that, finish. That is the only method. By developing your anger, criticizing, condemning, blaming, accusing, attacking, you develop and further enmity and hatred and violence. This advice of the Buddha. Please try. Just because of our egoism, pride, we are not ready to compromise, to calm or surrender. Although we are wrong, we are not ready to surrender because egoism. Then develop violence, bloodshed, disturbance. These beautiful sayings of the Buddha. Now I had my own experience for now 86 years. Not a single enemy in my life from my childhood up to this day. In any part of the world. No enemy. When others try to become enemy, I won't talk to that person. Because with one hand we cannot clap. Must have two hands. You can get angry with me. If I never develop my anger, you cannot develop your anger also. That is why Buddha says this. Be wise. Then you can avoid unpleasant situation, then can avoid enmity, violence, and for generations they may continue this, families. They are hatred and enmity. This is the simple sayings of the Buddha and how practical it is when you read the whole history of this world, what happened. Then, 2 days ago I came back from Sri Lanka. I went to see whether there is anything that we can do. I traveled 150 miles by car and I saw both sides, all their properties and houses, their children and the parents and gone. Few of them remain, or the others gone. 150 miles. I didn't go further. What sort of disaster? No one can understand. We create our own imagination. Some people say God is angry because human beings are very wicked. He wants to punish them. Then who created them? Created by the same God. What is the difficulty for that God to correct and adjust them when they are wrong, instead of destroying? Again, who affected? Children, women, innocent people were affected. The culprit and wicked and cruel people still carry on their activities. Is that the punishment of God? Some others say, Buddhist and Hindu, this is our karma. The Buddha has said very clearly, don't think all our pleasant and unpleasant things are due to our previous karma. Only certain things. The mistake that we have created within this lifetime become the main cause. Our stupidity or our cruelty or our anger, our narrow-mindedness, our laziness, we have to suffer. Again, karmic energy had to surrender. Then the universal forces go out of order. Now 4 elements are there. Solidity, fluidity, heat, motion. The whole universe, all the planets and galaxies and everything maintain these 4 elements. And friction, clashes, imbalance of these elements take place in every planet, every planetary system in the whole world. Not only this earth. Since there are no living beings, in many of those planets, nobody knows what happened. Nobody to complain. Since we are living here on this earth, then we can see what the Buddha has said. It is not the God, it is not our karma. Take for instance, earthquakes take place. Thousands of people die. Among them, there are many religious, very kind, very good people who have done lot of good karma. And there are many wicked, cruel people. But all of them suffer equally. Because the karma becomes inactive due to that force. The Buddha has mentioned there are 4 ways. Karmic energy becomes inactive or changed. Now what happened to? And this world that we are living is subjected to this impermanency mentioned by the Buddha. Never remain forever like this. Next time another huge one comes. People have never seen the waves have gone so high over the roof to wash away. And volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and so many other things take place here. The Buddha says, the more you develop your craving and attachment toward this worldly life, the more you have to suffer. Let's go. If you don't like to suffer like this, reduce your craving, reduce your attachment, gain freedom from all these things. Nobody to suffer. That is called salvation. But people don't like. Their craving is so strong, they want to exist. Although life is from the beginning up to the end nothing but suffering, even then never ready to give up craving and attention. That is ignorance. Ignorance supports. That is Buddhism. So if we can understand this, we can avoid, we can escape. That we call salvation. Salvation means these 4 elements cannot affect wind, the heat, or the water, or the object. Now this body is called kaya in the Buddha's language. Why it is called kaya? Kaya means that which subjected to wind, heat, water. One day, destruction takes place through the influence of one of them or 2, 3 of them. Now this building, this is a kaya, but this is subjected to decay and collapse one day due to heat or wind or water. And the body also like that. This is the universal law pointed out by the Buddha. It's called kaya because of that. Subjected. The only state where we will be free from all these things is nirvana. Even Devaloka we call heaven. Those devas, those divine beings are also not free from all these things. But they are free from many things that we are facing. In the end, they do not know what will happen to their life. They do not prepare anything for the next existence because they do not know. Now animals and all these living beings do not know anything. But human beings are the only living beings who can understand this and who can prepare. While we are living here, we experience good karma and bad karma, what we have done earlier. So while we are living here, through this understanding, we prepare more and more good karma. Then we are preparing for the next existence, next life. Otherwise, we have to go with empty hands. When we go there with empty hands, there are living examples all over the world. How many millions are dying without food, nothing to eat? How many millions are there all over the world? There is no shelter. Even the rainy season or summer or winter, no shelter open outside, under the tree, pavement. No piece of cloth to wear. And no medicines for their sicknesses. What a miserable life that they are leading. They had little bit of good karma to become human. But they have not collected anything to spend there. Empty hands. That is why they have to suffer. How fortunate we are when we compare with all these things. That means definitely we have done some good deeds, good karma, meritorious deeds during our previous birth. Otherwise we never get the chance to lead this way of life when we compare with others. Again, the way how they killed in Iraq and Pakistan, India. Every day, all are in fear, day and night. Any moment, suicide bombs and violence, but we can sleep peacefully without fear like that. How fortunate we are. I have repeated this so many times, what the Buddha has said in Mangala Sutra. Is there anyone who can remember? Not in Pali, the meaning. That's the trouble. You cannot remember, you never keep in your mind. Because these are very important teachings of the Buddha for us to remember. Patirupa desa vasocha ubbecha kata punyata. All those who have done some meritorious deeds during their previous birth get the chance to be born in a certain country where they can lead their life without facing such calamities, suffering, problems, difficulties, fear. Such a nice, wonderful, beautiful sayings of the Buddha for us to learn and to prepare by knowing this. Another saying, Punyani paralokasmin patittha honti panina. I am going on repeating this for 45 years. And still you cannot remember. After our death, there is nobody to support in the next world. Neither God, nor the Buddha, nobody. Only our meritorious deeds, only our good karma supports us, provides all the facilities, what we need to lead a peaceful, prosperous, happy life. Our own karma. Religious labels are not important for us. The follower of any religion leads this way of life, and the next existence becomes very fortunate, but many people depart from this world after working, collecting, accumulating, dumping, and die. Even Prophet Muhammad has said, whatever you have collected as your property here, in the end, you cannot claim as your property. Whatever you have given to others, that is your property. You can claim this as your property. So close to the teachings of the Buddha. So, accumulating and dumping among all those living beings in this universe, human beings are the only living beings who live. Other living beings, when they are hungry, they go out and find out something to eat, come and sleep. They never collect, never accumulate, never think what to eat tomorrow. They go and find out something to eat and satisfy. Human beings, although more than enough that they have collected, they can satisfy. This is another important advice given by the Buddha. Santutti paramang dhanam. The highest wealth is our contentment. Highest wealth. What is contentment? This is enough for me. This is enough for my family. That is called contentment. When you maintain this contentment, you never create jealousy in your mind. No reason, because you are contented. If there is no jealousy, no anger also. If no anger, no violence. So we can avoid so many things if we maintain this contentment. Santutti paramang dhanam. Highest wealth. Those who satisfy are wealthy people, not those who have accumulated money. Allow others to enjoy their life. Don't create jealousy. Don't pass remarks. Then no contentment. The trouble here in this world, whole world is a battlefield because they haven't got contentment. They want to attack and destroy other countries and attack inside the countries. So many political parties, they attack this group, that group, and the whole world is a battlefield because of craving and craving and craving. After gaining enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, the word came out from the Buddha's mouth. There is nobody to listen. That means, Visankhara Gatam Chittam. Now in my mind, there are no sankhara. Sankhara means all things that we are accumulating in our mind. No more. Mind is pure. Why? Tanhanam khayamajyaga. No more craving. Craving accumulate all these things in our mind. Now empty, no more craving. Natsi dani punabhav. Therefore, I have no more rebirth. I had more than enough. I suffered more than enough. Aneka jati samsaram, endless period. I had to suffer for building this house. Now I am not going to build this house anymore. Tanhanam kaya madhyaka, tanha craving, eradicated from my mind. Mind is free. I stop becoming again. If becoming again takes place, I have to suffer again. That is called selfish. People never think in this way. They have become slaves to their indulgence and worldly pleasures, material gain, and they suffer because of this thing. One who renounces these things maintains peace. No burden, no worries, no responsibility, nothing to suffer, mind is free. I have told you, the whole life is divided into 4 periods. So many times I have told you this. Very practical. Saitavedhyasta vidyanam yauvane visayesina vārdhake munivrittinam yogenante tanutyajam. That is in Sanskrit language. When we are young, our duty is to concentrate more on our education. Don't get involved with any other external activities. The time that you have to spend for study. What you learn during this period, you can record in your mind. After that, very difficult. Because the recording head is worn out. Now we can remember what we learned, cannot remember. What we have learned when we are very young is still working in the mind. Therefore, remember, when we are young, don't interfere with politics and even romantic these things also too much. If they got enough time, why worry about that? Finish your studies. Alright. You have completed your studies and you are no more children, you are youth now. Then, yauvane visayesina. Yauvana means youth. That is the period for it to enjoy sensual pleasure and worldly pleasure. So religion never says that you should not enjoy your life. That is the period to enjoy the senses, to entertain the senses. It is natural. By force you cannot control them. If you try to control them by force, you go mad. But you have to enjoy your life very respectable way, gentle way, without harming, bluffing, cheating, disturbing others. Enjoy your life. See? Now you are enjoying. Now you have reached the middle age, after 40. The time has come for you to reduce your worldly, sensual pleasure. Reduce. Because you have experience, had more than enough experience. Now you have maturity, knowledge, experience, understanding in your mind. Not like others. Therefore, use this to guide others, help others, support others, point out their mistakes, correct them, guide them, advise them. During that, through your experience, you can tell them. When somebody is doing a mistake, young boy or young girl, I can say, yes, when we were young boys and girls also, we know how we had to suffer because of that. Then guide them. So devote more time to support others, help others, to understand what is right, what is wrong, what is moral, what is immoral. Guide others. Now third period is over. Now the last period. Now we have come to 70, 80. When you come to that stage, you must reduce the burdens, responsibilities, worries from your mind by handing over your property, your children or some others, or not donate. Mind is free. There is nothing to worry, no jealousy, no anger, and nothing to bother about the family members. Don't worry, oh, my son still did not get married, he did not produce children. They worry. It is their duty. You have nothing to worry about that. Or they don't want to get married. Why do you worry about that? Let them live. They don't like to get married. Leave them alone. Your mind must be free from all these disturbances. Then, when the mind is free from so many disturbances, worries and burdens, we can recall all the good deeds, what we have done during our lifetime. Meritorious deeds, how you support others, how you help others, how you release others, all the good thoughts, develop and develop and develop. When the death comes, your next existence never become unfortunate. Because you drop all the unnecessary burden from the mind and you departed from this world with the mind that you have done certain good deeds, meritorious deeds and some services to others. not the bad deeds. See how nice. 4 periods. When you are young, what to do? When you are youth, what to do? When you are adult, what to do? When you are old, what to do? If you follow this system very peacefully, you can maintain our life. But the trouble is, even after 90 years also, people are not ready to give up all these things. Oh Lord! I remember one day I was invited to go and bless a lady who was very old. Doctor told that he may pass away at any moment. When they came and invited me, I visited the house. So he is very cheerful. I have done the blessing. When I finished my blessing, she called her husband and whispered something to him. Then usually I thought, when you do some religious service, they donate something to the temple, either red packet or something. Then the husband kept quiet. Then I asked, what did he say? He told me, few days ago, he brought few tickets, a social welfare ticket, and find out the number whether he got any prize. She is dying here. See how their minds are working at that time. Real, actually, it is stupidity actually. Because we do not know how to maintain our. I was invited to bless another lady, also Chinese lady. Doctor said, any moment she may pass away. I went there. She paid respect when I entered in the room. Then I started to chant. While chanting, I was watching. Chanting and watching. Halfway, when I was chanting, see, finished, gone. No struggling, doing and distance. So peacefully, she passed away. See, she has developed her mind to depart from this world, start struggling and worrying and crying and all these things peacefully. We have to train. Otherwise, wasting our life actually. By worrying about our property and fighting and quarreling and bluffing and cheating and disturbing others, not for our survival. So, if we can maintain these things, what a nice, peaceful world. But human beings cannot. Unfortunately, human beings are here on this earth. Other living beings cannot live peacefully. We are destroying them, and destroying plant life, everything. Other living beings never do such things. Only human beings. One day, we will completely destroy. No one can survive. Astronomers have strong belief that there are living beings on Mars planet. They landed and observed nobody. But indications were there, living being existed on this planet. But today, nobody. Same thing will happen to this because of human beings. All their chemicals and discoveries and scientific discoveries, everything for destructive purpose. If we follow natural way of life, we will be free from all these problems. We cannot breathe in certain countries, we must have oxygen. Polluted completely. And the water, completely polluted. And the fish and other living beings also die. And cut down all the trees and the plant and destroy hills and rocks. Natural beauty. By nature, the formations have taken place to maintain. A plant life never appears on this earth if there is no food value, medicinal value, or contribute for the environment. Otherwise, never appears. A living being never appear on this earth if there is nothing to contribute to maintain this world. But we do not know. To us, they are nuisance. Therefore, we destroy. But we never think we are nuisance to all the others as human beings. This earth is not belong only to human beings. This is not the property of human beings. Every creature, every living being is entitled to survive. But we destroy their living right. Then it will become bad karma. We destroy their living right by killing them. Universal law. We violate the universal law. Then it will become karma. Bad karma. So, all these things just now I mentioned, I have repeated so many times, so simple and so useful. If you can remember, try your best. Slowly, slowly, not at once, I know. Slowly, slowly, through your understanding how to cultivate your way of life. By leading harmless life. Then one day, you can depart from this world without fear, without worry. When this house, life is living in this house. When the house is decaying and collapse, life cannot live here anymore. The life departs. Life never dies. People never think. Life cannot die. Life is an energy, nothing to die. But in that life, there are so many things. Craving, attachment, good karma, bad karma, and our mental habits and nature, character, behavior, so many things are there in that life. That's transmitted from me. Then start to build another new house in the mother's womb. The mental energy that enters into the mother's womb is the nucleus of life. Start with mental energy, not with element. The Buddha mentioned, Albert Einstein also mentioned this. Mind must come first. Later, element, cosmic energies, all the others combine and build up. Slowly build. That is what we are doing. Life after life. So if we are wise, then we know how to adjust our way of life, not to suffer, not to worry, not to have fear, have a healthy, good, peaceful life. It is in our hand, not in the God or not in the Buddha's hand. It is in our hand. It is in our mind. That is why it is necessary to know. Simply by praying to God, praying to Buddha, you never gain anything. You have to develop your mind by reducing, knowing these things are bad, by cultivating while these things are important, then you are wise, you will be very fortunate.